Hello friends, it's your buddy Nick here with Game with the Guys. We're hanging out with Fake. This is actually the room where we fought the Abyss Watchers, but where we're going next is right down here into the Catacombs of Karthus. And you'll notice that I am wearing some raggedy looking gear. I decided to go with stuff that has pretty high bleed resistance. I'm even rocking a Bloodbite ring. And for a little silentitude, we're rocking the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring. And that's going to be very helpful in the fact that it gives us a little bit of edge and stealthiness. And a lot of the bad guys in here, they can be best treated by just breaking them up before they fully assemble. We'll see that this guy reanimates here. But he never really got a chance to fight me because I knocked him down so quickly. If you're using an item with the Blessed infusion on it, that will keep those guys from reanimating like that. And also it does additional damage to these guys. So if you got one going, now's the time to rock out with that. I just picked up an excellent item here. This is called Karthus Rouge. I'm sure everybody's familiar with this. This is a highly viscous scarlet plant secretion. Temporarily applies bleeding effect to right hand weapon. And what that'll do is adds about 35 points of bleed to the... Let me see if I can get in here. If we look at the additional effects, where there's the little blood splotch there, it'll add 35 points to the bleed strength there. And this lasts for about 60 seconds. And this is such a useful item. It's great against a lot of the bosses in the game, because many of the bosses have defenses against, say, lightning or magic or whatever. This is considered a physical damage, so even though it won't look like you're doing extra damage, all of a sudden, splat, there's all the extra damage. And if we look down at the bottom here, it says, associated with the warriors of Karthus, whose blades take on the scarlet hues of both this sanguine substance and the splatters of their victims' blood. And we will see what appears to be the buff on their blades. Let's see if we can see it on his. Nope, not from here. But anyway, we're not going to fight that guy. We're going to go this way. And this way is a lot easier. And it gets us in a great position for taking on the rest of this level. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, there's a very particular way that I go through a lot of these levels, and that is to make it, well, really the easiest way possible. And we can just tell this little guy, hey, come on over here. And he'll come over, and we'll get him with a little knock like that. And we see, oh, a boulder made out of bones. That's crazy. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's use it and take it, use it for our advantage. Here we killed one guy there. Oh, there's some damage on somebody else. Gotta be sure that you're staying out of the way here. And we can run up here. Oh, look at that. A really tough guy, already dead. Let's go ahead and wake these guys up. Let's see if we can get that boulder to do a little bit more work for us. And excellent. More guys dead via the boulder. Here we have a great big dude here. These guys, they are no fun. They are no fun at all. So what do? We sneak up and take care of him before he gets a chance to even fight us. These guys have a very high tendency of dropping Titanite. And we got... this corpse here was holding some, and then this guy had it as a drop also. So we'll see that. Oh, jeez. I just heard that thing screaming at me, and I knew it was on its way. So we'll let that thing roll up and down and do its thing as we come over here. And you see there's a shiny out there to the left. Guess what? That's a trap. Let's actually come over here and take care of this guy. these guys do a lot of bleed buildup. So that's why I'm coming this way. You can kind of stun him a little bit there with a heavy attack there. Oh, he never got the chance to hit me. And we saw why exactly that shiny was a trap. You can see by the arrow in my neck. And if we come over here, we can see who shot that arrow. But first we'll take care of this guy, and he will reanimate. So we'll just give him a moment. And you'll know that they reanimate. Well, usually their bones don't float like his do. But if you kill something and you don't get souls for it, they're coming back to life. And here was the bowman that shot us. Let's see if we can just... Oh, I wasn't actually trying to backstab him. I was trying to just kick him off, but that'll work too. And hiding right back here, we have our first little prize. The Karthus Pyromancy Tome. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this. Went too far. So this is a Pyromancy Tome from Karthus containing pyromancies crafted for battle. With this, we can learn the new pyromancies Acid Surge, Karthus Beacon, and Karthus Flame Arc. So when we give this to the Old Master, we can learn those. Karthus pyromancies developed in isolation from other forms, explaining their divergent evolution. So in isolation, you know, you think about like the Galapagos Islands, for example, and there are species that grow up there that are just completely different from anywhere else. And so that's kind of what happened with the Karthus pyromancies. They came into existence, or pyromancies were here in Karthus, the Karthus area, and they were completely isolated from other pyromancies, so they kind of developed into their own line. And we're never alone in the tombs here, in the catacombs. There's always someone watching. But enough silliness. Let's head out over this way. And, oh, wrong corner. This is the corner I was looking for. Just some souls over here, but that's okay. And this area will probably remind you of the catacombs from Dark Souls 1. There's lots of nooks and crannies. There's lots of skulls and skeletons and all sorts of morbid bits like that. So if you're feeling a little bit of deja vu, well, it's well-founded. And as we climb to the top here, this is probably an area they expected us to get to a little earlier. We'll see that archer skeleton pop up, and we can use a trap right here to take care of him. Done. Easy peasy. The guy's going to pop up here in a minute. Where are you? There you are. Get rid of him before he gets a chance to get rid of us. There's a guy right down here, but we're wearing the Slumbering Dragoncrest ring, so sneaking up on him is no problem at all. Oh! I didn't see you get up. But now he's down. There should be a couple more guys over here. There they are, hanging out. These guys have no heads, and they love to parry, so don't let them parry you. There he goes. He puts his guard down, and then you kill him. Where are you going? When he's got his sword across his body like that, that is him just being prepared to parry. That's where they can take you out. Oh, we get some kukri. I don't know if that's how it's properly pronounced, but those are the bleed throne daggers, and we'll get a lot of those here. Some more souls here. And now it's time to meet up with an old friend. We're going to come back down this way. And I think that we took care of all the skeletons in here. There are a few on that bridge that we saw, but we don't need to worry ourselves with those guys. They're no harm to us. Where's that boulder? Just gotta be sure it's not gonna hit us. Over this way. Oh man, there's an ambush here. Look at this. What do? We take these guys out before they have a chance. Oh. It sucks when you accidentally kick instead of swing your sword, because that uses up stamina, and for that ambush you need every last ounce of it. Just keep swinging until they're all dead. And then right over here we have Anri. And Anri, you look distraught. You've got a friend right up there. Why are you so sad?
Oh, hello. How very fortunate. Have you seen my companion, Horace? To my shame, I was snared by a trap and we've become separated. I've not been able to find him since.
And all we can do right now is just say no, we haven't seen Horace, and that's the truth.
Yes, I see. Horace is a valiant knight. He can look after himself, no question. He's probably searching for me right now, with twice the resolve. And if you happen upon him, please tell him that I remain in the catacombs and will lay prism stones to guide him, as always. Please send him my word, I beg of you. May the flames guide your way.
If we see Horace, we'll let him know. Wink! Let's just go ahead and make sure that we exhaust the dialogue, but it's just kind of a repeat here. So, now her dialogue is exhausted, and I touched on this when we first met them, but they have a very, very deep bond. These two, they're a duo. They're not one and the other. They are together. So being separated from Horace is really got to be hard on Henri here. Or Henri. I forgot which way it's pronounced. But it's got to be very, very hard on her. And it's probably equally hard on Horace. And as we come into this room here, there is a crystal lizard to the left. So you just quickly take care of that. And over here we'll find a useful item that I'll probably never use, the blood red moss clump. And we can see in here, let's see, this was originally used as maggot repellent, and we've seen maggots cling to us and induce bleed damage, so as a maggot repellent, this reduces bleed buildup. That makes a lot of sense. Bleeding builds up when attacked by sharp blades or spikes, and once triggered causes severe damage. Use this moss clump before it reaches that point. So that'll keep you from getting the bleed effect on you. Might as well just equip it. But I wanted to come over here. Henri talks about prism stones, and they've got a couple of uses, and we talked about this in Farron Keep, but you know, you can use them as a place marker, and they have all sorts of pretty colors if you use these. Pretty colors, pretty colors. So you can use those as a way of seeing where you've been, or as a marker of some way, a way of communicating. But then they also have this use. If you take them near a ledge, and the ledge is, you know, a fall you're not going to survive, if you toss them over, they will let you know. So that's a useful little item. It's pretty obvious when you're going to die from a fall, but you know, it's a carryover from Dark Souls 1, and there was a place where they were super useful, and that was in the Crystal Caverns near Seath the Scaleless. So if we just wait over here on the side for it to roll by, we're good to go. And what causes these boulders? Well, this guy right here. Look at him, he's wearing a worker's hat. And now what this guy did, we'll see that, oh, no more boulder. And undead bone shard. Very cool. Look, oh, it's so close yet so far away. Look at all those skulls, jeez. All right, there's an ambush here, and once again the trick is to just knock them out before they got a chance to get to you. I like to get this third guy back here. Oh, he parried me, but he didn't live to see the parry. So this guy back here throws an item that shoots these little homing soul mass dreg dark magic at us. So that is a little bit of evidence that the Abyss... Oh, well, you're going to see one in action there. But that's a little evidence that there is influences of the Abyss in this area. And back here, you'll see, oh, look, a shiny. I need to go back there and get it. Well, guess what? Some of these have traps in them. These short ones like that they have more of those little homing soul masses in there, those little dregs. So this guy here is one. And an easy way to get back there, use a straight sword and you can just kind of shoot your way through with an arrow either way. But if you just kind of take those out, then you can go through without knocking one of these out. And actually this one is sitting on top of a trap. I don't know if we can see where it shoots from exactly, but can't remember which side it comes from. But rolling over that will cause some fire bolts to shoot through, much like the ones that we used to kill the archer a little bit earlier. And now that we're out of the way here, let's go ahead and take a look at this ring. So this is a ring worn by the warriors of the Sand Kingdom Karthus. Slightly boosts dexterity and obscures the wearer while rolling, and we'll see that in action in just a moment. The sword technique of Karthus allows for fluid movement with a curved sword. Masters of the technique are said to dazzle their opponents by moving as weightlessly as a grain of sand. They live for their High Lord Wolnir, conqueror of most kingdoms known to their people. Who didn't they conquer? It seems that they're so powerful. Who didn't they conquer? And if you watch out here, there is a trap there. We're going to come across a couple of guys here, and I want to buff up because I want to make sure that I can take this guy out very quickly. He's going to reanimate. I want to take this guy out. And then this guy will come back up in just a moment. And we'll dispatch him before he gets a chance to ever hit us. He drops some Karthus Rouge and a Titanite Shard. We never got this guy to wake up, but right now, he was just waiting to get us too. So, that's how we get rid of those guys. Now there's a big gap here, and we can see that there's a lot of level to explore down there. And the way to get to it is through these guys up ahead. And I want to make these guys come at me one at a time. So I'm going to lure one. And, dude, you are so far from hitting me. I want him to get nice and close to me. And he's going to get up right behind me. And I'm going to use this trap and hopefully hit him with it. If not, that's okay. And you'll see that he does a bunch of blood build up there. And, oh, these guys are such a nuisance. But you can, oh, dang it. You can knock their shields down if they're hiding behind them. Oh, please, please, please. Oh, Titanite Shard. These guys can actually drop a really cool sword. They can drop the Karthus Curved Sword. And it's a really cool weapon, actually. It's pretty strong, and it also does blood buildup. And if we look at the description there, I actually don't have what it's written right in front of me, but it just talks more about how just awesome the fighters from Karthus are. And we're seeing that they're quite formidable. These guys are no pushovers. And right over here, there's the other fella. And the shiny will trap you. Oh, come on, buddy. I'm trying to use this thing to my advantage. But he's standing just out of the reach of the damn thing. Seriously? And see, you can see the that Karthus ring in action there as we sneak behind to get the backstab. And as he regains his composure, we'll just take him out here. More Titanite. These guys, they have a guaranteed drop of those Titanite shards. So, kill them and farm away. You'll see that there's an item across the way, and if you're not paying attention, it's very easy to drop down in the area below. So if something's trying to kill us, what could that item be? Of course, it's an ember. And as we come right through here, we'll encounter another one of these boulders of skeletons. And it's hiding a goodie back here. A large Titanite shard. Very nice, very nice. Over here to the left we have our bonfire. And now I'm not gonna rest here. I don't really need to, but it is advantageous actually not to rest. Where is it? There it goes. Let's see if I can outrun this thing and get all the way down this hallway. And there's some rats here waiting to greet us. Oh, oh, it didn't hit a single rat. They have no clue where I am. All right, well, you guys go do your thing. I'll have to deal with you later, of course. And we're gonna go down there in a little bit, but we're gonna clear out the rest of the area first. We've got a big rat here. Easy to sneak up on. You can either just walk very slowly, or you can use Spook, or you can use this ring that I'm using here. There's quite a few ambushes in this area. We've got some slimes up ahead. And over there we've got bone wheels. Oh, so spooky. So scary. And Dark Souls 1, they are everybody's most feared opponent. But in Dark Souls 3, they're really easy. So you can either just kind of bait them to come out like that. Where are those rats? What are they doing? It's very odd. Anyway, it's probably safest to just kind of get a distance shot on one of these guys. Oh, I missed him, but I got his attention. Here we go. There we go. Didn't do any damage, but now he knows that I'm here. You don't want to get too close or else that slime's going to drop on you. And eventually he'll get down here and he'll try to fight us and we'll just sidestep him. Oh, so easily. Oh, look at all that damage that guy did. These guys are actually really tough in Dark Souls 1. So, what I'm actually going to do now, instead of baiting these guys to come down, I'm just going to run down here and make that happen. Just kind of be wary of where there are slimes up above you, and then you can kind of take these guys out fairly easily. Hopefully this guy will drop the goodie of all goodies from these bone wheels here. This guy's paying no attention. There he goes. Please drop it. No, he didn't. What they can drop is this wheel here. And let's just take a look at that. So what this is a giant wooden wheel encircled by spikes and a half melded to a strange skeleton. Can serve as a makeshift great shield, albeit one with great gaps. Its true value is revealed in the use of its skill. And so its skill is called the Wheel of Fate. Thrust out the wheel and give it a good spin, shredding enemies with the outer linings of spikes. So this is a fun shield to deal with. But, you know, it's really heavy. It requires a lot of strength, so probably not very practical. And we see just tons of dead bodies. A lot of the skeletons in this area took up the occupation as grave wardens, and so they're in charge of keeping the dead at bay and keeping them from reanimating. And so what I did there was I baited this guy to let us get to the Carthus Blood Ring. And we'll take a look at that after we get out of the way of a lot of these guys. I just want to point out, this looks like it's a secret way. It's not. Not a secret at all. And so I think that all of these little slimes should be down on the floor. And we can evade them. Oh, one more. Oh, there's one! Oh, and we got a floating little bit of goo there. Alright, you guys. That's enough. So, there are the rats. Come here, rats! I want to get rid of these things. These guys are going to get in my way. Unless I take them out. Oh, there it goes. The boulder did my work for me. Oh. Whew. Don't want that guy to see me. That guy's tough. So while we're hiding out, let's actually take a look at this other ring here. This is a ring worn by the warriors of the same kingdom, Carthus. Boosts rolling invincibility at the cost of defense. So this actually gives you about a 33% increase in iframes while you're rolling. But, like it says, at the cost of defense. And so, if we kind of take a look at it here, as I drop my notes, of course, we'll see that it basically drops everything by, the absorption goes down by about 15. The sword technique of Karthus allows for fluid movement with a curved sword. Masters of these techniques, I think we've seen all of this before. Yes, and so they talk about, oh, these guys are so strong, and High Lord Wolnir, and this and that. Well, whatever. Let's go ahead and boost up our attack as much as possible. We'll see right over here, this guy's got a worker's hat. We'll get rid of him. The boulder is no more. This is an interesting fellow. He's got a bow. Most of these guys have great big swords. Oh, speaking of great big swords, here's one of these guys here, and he might actually kill us. Alright, I gotta get serious for a second here and just drop this guy. Come on! Oh. Jeez. Oh, he dropped a large Titanite shard. A little bit more rare, but that is possible. Oh! Trap. Watch out for that. All of my extra blood build-up defenses really come in handy. Here's a little bit more Karthus Rouge for you. And since I am wearing Lloyd's Sword Ring, maxing out my health is going to make me hit a little bit harder. And there's a guy there. I just want to reapply this just to make sure that I can get him. I'm going to wait till he's going to come and he's going to turn back around. He's got his own little path that he likes to go, and I'd like to attack without him seeing me. So we run in and get the backstab. Oh, didn't get that first one. And this guy's going to reanimate. So we got to be ready to fully take him out. Ooh, that was such a cool... Oh no! These guys, whew. And there's some more of those, the Kukri there. Or Kukri. Kukri or Kukri? Here we have the Grave Warden's ashes. So let's take a look in here. And speaking of Kukri, it looks like this hand is holding one there. So Umbral Ash of the Grave Warden of the Catacombs of Karthus. With this, the Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. And what this will unlock is the Yellow Bug Pellet, the Kukri, and Karthus Rouge. Now, if you read the description here, it says, the old man began as a squire, carrying his master's accoutrements. He ended his days as a grave warden and carried them still. So that's actually a whole story right there. This old man whose ashes that we picked up, obviously, you start out very young, and he was a squire, but either through his master dying or him becoming the grave warden, he acquired those items through a long process, probably. But yeah, once a squire, maybe he became a master too. But, you know, in this age, if you aren't a grave warden, you're nothing, right? So he carries them still, but kind of in a different format. And there's this guy there. Ugh, what a jerk. Let's go ahead and put some of this on. I'm probably better off not coming in this direction here. I should actually go around, but I'll risk it. As Bruce Arians says, no risk it, no biscuit. And this guy just got a good swing on me. A couple of good swings on me there. But now he's done. I did miss an item up there now that I think about it. Or no, maybe I didn't. Hold on. Let's run up there again. I think there was something on this left wall. Did I already grab it? No. Here it is. Large Titanite. Very important. Very important. Got to pick that up. And let's see. So now, this is very odd. There was once a boulder of skeletons, and now there's just a little crab. Why is there just a little crab left? Oh, and he totally took that hit. And I just realized that I did not want to take out this guy here. I'm going to show you a cool way to take care of someone in just a moment here. I'll have to go rest at the bonfire. And here we get more evidence of the Abyss and how it has touched Karthus, the Karthus catacombs here. A gem of infused titanite, yes, 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 used to infuse to create dark weapons. Dark weapons inflict dark damage and scale with intelligence and faith. So that creates a split damage type. And if we go into one of our weapons here, so instead of it being physical and magic, it would be physical and dark. It will retain the attribute bonus that it shows there between your strength and dexterity, but the base physical and the base magic will be lower, the way that it is here with the Crystal Sage Rapier. And then it'll add attribute bonus for both your faith and your intelligence. And so the faith and intelligence will scale with the dark section of the damage, and then your strength and your dexterity will scale with the physical. So through that little door is actually it's a red phantom. So there's a couple of ways to go at him. He's actually a pretty tough guy. So we're gonna take an interesting approach to him. And as you see here, I'm gonna bring back this boulder, and that's one of the two ways of doing it. If we get this boulder to go by here, there it goes. And we can just wait right over here for this thing. And now we can run down here and take these guys out. So we'll get rid of these rats again. Don't forget, there's a couple more back over here, and I'll walk on this guy's tail and he won't even know. Look at that. Look at that, paying no attention. Alright. So here's a fun, creative way to take care of... this is Sorig that we'll meet in just a moment. And when we come back here, we actually get to see a later section of the level. And you'll see... Oh! There he is. And what draws us into the trap? Well, an ember, of course. I didn't give myself enough room to navigate by the hallway there, so we're going to draw him back in where it's a little bit more open. And then, if he wishes to follow, we can come in through here, and we can just use this boulder to kill him. There it goes, one hit. The boulder will come back. There's another hit. You coming, buddy? You coming? And get out of the way of the boulder. There it goes, hit him again. And he'll swing his great big sword at us, but, you know, we'll dodge it. Come on, come on. There's another hit, and we're gonna run down here. And hopefully outrun this boulder. Maybe it'll smash us too. That's okay if it does. Oh, there it goes. But you know who else it's hitting? Hitting Sorig! Come on, buddy. You're not afraid of a little bone boulder, are you? Oh, look at that. Whoop! And here it comes one more time. And we'll just go ahead and finish the job there. My thanks, we get this new gesture, and we also get a ring. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But there is another way to kill him, and the area just beyond where we were, there's actually a rope bridge, and we'll cross that rope bridge in the next episode. But you can lure Sorig over there, and you can cut the rope bridge while he's trying to cross it. And sometimes he'll fall to his death, or sometimes you just have to face him down below, or you can just get a demon to do the job for you. So let's take a look at this ring. Here we are, Ring of the Savage Sorig. more commonly known as Night Slayer. Enemies lose more stamina when guarding attacks. Long ago, Sorage engaged the guardians of an ancient city in a bloody confrontation, and returned with their rings as his prize, still frozen on their dismembered fingers. So, long ago, huh? How long has Sorag been a Night Slayer? And which ancient city are they talking about? Is the mention here frozen on their dismembered fingers? Is that a little hint there? Was he trying to collect Pontiff rings, perhaps, when he's returning with rings as his prizes? Makes you wonder. We will encounter Night Slayer Sorag again in the future as both an ally and an enemy, but that will be a few episodes from now. At this point, I do want to head back to Firelink. We've got some items to share with the NPCs back there, and so let's see what they have to say about it. All right, we are back over here. We can hand over the Grave Warden's ashes.
How gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash bestow nourishment. I only hope these new wares content thee.
She's such a weirdo. All right. So, the new stuff that she has. Oh, Carthus Rouge, you are so wonderful. I'll get some of that. And this is probably also one of the better items to use in PvP. And that's because a lot of the weapon buffs and the personal buffs are they're nerfed for PvP. So instead of something adding like 100 points to your attack rating, so something that would end up being like a 10% bump ends up being like a 1% bump. They're heavily, heavily nerfed, but Carthus Rouge never is because it's straight up physical. So Carthus Rouge or Poison, because those things aren't nerfed. Let's see, we get these, the Kukri, but then also I wanted to take a look. I should just go over here. This makes it easier. Where is it? Oh, here they are, right here. So the yellow bug pellet, this temporarily boosts lightning damage absorption. So I'll buy one here and we can see exactly how much that'll do in just a moment. Actually, we'll go in here. So this medicinal pellet made from crushed insects, and all the bug pellets are made from insects. The yellow type temporarily boosts lightning damage absorption. The Grave Wardens of Carthus use these to repel a great sandworm. A little foreshadowing. We'll meet that great sandworm. The worm tumbled into the catacombs and proceeded to dominate its new home in the smoldering lake. So that kind of tells us about something that's going to happen in the future. So we can use that there. And we got about an 11-point boost there on our lightning absorption, or 50% in that case. So now we have this tome, and I'm sure this gentleman will be quite happy to see it.
I am pleased to have a pupil as dedicated as you.
Very funny. Here we go.
Well, well. I've never seen anything like this. This inscription. This tome is from the catacombs. Fascinating. On this day, the teacher learns alongside the pupil.
And the reason why he's never seen anything like it, as we saw in the description, it said that they were developed in isolation. So nobody outside of Carthus has ever seen anything like them. And of course he touches on the master-pupil situation because that's what he does. Acid Surge. Pyromancy of Karthus of the Sands. Emits an acid which corrodes weapons and armor. Karthus swordsmen attached great value to victory, and would not shun the use of such pyromancies. For where is the honor in death and scorned bones? Where is the honor in death and scoured bones? So honestly, this spell isn't particularly useful. Maybe in PvP. It doesn't really do anything in PvE at all. But it talks about how the swordsmen of Karthus weren't afraid to fight dirty. But we do have some really cool spells over here. First of all, Karthus Beacon. The most obscure pyromancy developed in Karthus of the Sands. Damage increases with consecutive attacks. Karthus aggression has been likened to an uncontrollable fire, and since ancient times its beacon has been used as a signal for war. What this will do, it will add about 7.5% of damage, or it'll add about 7.5% to your attack rating. And as you attack more, it will bump itself up a couple of times, and it'll get to as high as 15%. This is a pretty solid little pyromancy. This only lasts for 30 seconds, though. And so you can actually kind of use this in tandem with the Pontiff's right eye ring or the old wolf sword, and stack those all up on each other, and we'll see Spelldexia do just that. We also have the Karthus Flame Arc. This is a pyromancy of the Karthus of the Sands. Reinforces the right weapon with flame. And that will do 82% of your spell buff to your weapon as fire damage, adding on to your attack rating. This lasts for 90 seconds. And let's see, the warriors of Karthus favored supplemental pyromancies such as this, which was used to enhance curved blades of its swordsmen. And it's kind of interesting that it talks about Karthus of the Sands, and they used curved blades. Because...
Do not be gone for long. What is a teacher?
I wasn't done talking to you. In the Middle East,
pleased.
or areas that are kind of known for having sandy areas, in ancient times they also used a lot of more curved blades than what we saw in Europe. So we see kind of a little connection there. But he's got something new to say if we talk to him.
Ah, you found a tome in the catacombs. This spell is akin to chaos. It may even serve as a link to Izalith, home of pyromancies.
So, yeah, it kind of hints that Izalith might be getting closer. And I think the one that he's talking about here is actually Karthus Beacon. You know, because the aggression has been likened to an uncontrollable fire. So a chaos flame, if you will. So that's probably... a little bit of the origin of this, that in Carmina that did a lot of the internalizing of the flame. So very interesting how it kind of has two aspects of its origin, yet because it was isolated, we don't really ever see anything else like it.
Do not be gone for long. What is a teacher without a pupil?
What indeed. But we also have a little bit of new dialogue from Yuria. And this is triggered because we ran into Anri in the catacombs. And let's go ahead and see what she has to say about it.
Speak thy desire, honorable Lord of Hollows. Our lord and liege. Knowest thou of a maid named Anri? She is hollow, and will join thee in wedlock. A fellow of mine guides her at this moment. When the time is ripe, thou mayst make thy salutations. For what lord taketh no spouse?
All right,
Till
there's
we
so
meet
much
again.
there.
May the dark sigil guide thee.
Oh, it will. It will. So, she talks about one of her underlings guiding her, a fellow of hers. And when we last spoke to Anri, or not actually the last time, but the last time we spoke to Anri in Firelink, she's talked about how a pilgrim told her that she could find Aldrich in Izalith. So they're both kind of connecting on that note. Then Yuria goes on to talk about, taking a spouse and all this and that. Later on, we will see the idea of taking a spouse, and it's not exactly the way that you and I normally think of it. But one thing that we can kind of take from that, there's a little crack to the outside world there. I've never noticed that until just now. How about that? Firelink has plenty of watery leaks, apparently. This is probably where all this water comes. In the rain, it comes through that hole. Anyway, I got distracted. But so she talks about taking a spouse and what kind of lord isn't married and whatnot. So we learned much earlier. We talked about how Astora is kind of filled with nobility, and if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, if you're a fan of shows like The Borgias, if you like a lot of lore or just kind of the history of medieval times and ancient Europe and whatnot, a lot of powerful bonds were made through marriage. And so uniting this lord here with someone of a noble heritage from Astora could create powerful allies and, possible strong bonds, making for a more powerful allegiance. That, on the surface may seem what she might be hinting at, but it turns out it is something very, very different, and we'll have to wait and see exactly what that is. So at this point, I will say thank you for watching. Let's go ahead and just grab a level here.
Welcome, speak thine. Very well. Then touch.
If you've enjoyed this episode, if you're enjoying this playthrough, I need a little bit more.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Go ahead and hit that like button for me. That actually does a lot to help me out. And if you have a friend that's going to like this kind of stuff, share with your friends. Leave comments below if you have any questions about lore, if you have disagreements about lore. I always like to hear that kind of stuff. And like I said, all of that stuff really helps me out. And in the next episode, we will kind of delve down. We will find our good friend Horus, and we will fight Lord Wolnir. And Speldexia is actually going to take care of that, because she just wrecks the guy. Oh, man, that fight goes very quickly with Speldexia. So, thanks again for watching. We will see you next time.